Alright, so let's jump in to start reading Lostbelt 6, Avalon the Fae. Let's hop into the prologue. And by reading, I mean voice acting every single character poorly. Well, hello there, you with the still unknown fate. I trust you can hear me. Or perhaps hello again, Stargazer would be more appropriate? Either way, it doesn't really matter. You're here now, and I don't have to be bored out of my skull anymore. So, will you hear what I have to say? I suppose it's less what I have to say exactly than it is one of many songs the wind has carried to me. This is the story of a single future, what became of an island of mystics that was reduced to the land of the Fae. Those of you without sin, take your leave now, for here you will find the Queen's bottomless castle. They accumulate like rain or ash. They disappear like snow or lies. Our hopes are either upon the shelf, or yet in the Queen's hands. But we need only hold out a little longer. On the dawn of the 2000th year, the prophesied child will appear. The child who will bring we Fae folk and humans together. The child who will save the world. Though it be too small for any other to see, the child shall be drawn to the light here as a moth to the flame. Once the child has averted catastrophe in the city of iron and sea of soot, their pilgrimage shall truly begin. Chosen by the staff of selection, the Savior, guarded by travelers from afar, shall reach the throne. The throne shall be claimed by a true king. Take up the bloodied crown. Let the 6 bells ring out like raging lightning, like grieving flame. Let them ring out and forge a path for the true king. Let them ring out before the red calamity reaches us, before the black disaster devours us living. Though we may not be the most diligent of folk, we are yet the free descendants of the Fae. Lacking though our wishes be, all we desire is a brighter tomorrow. So, what did you think? It takes its sweet time making the point, but you get it, yes? That's just how it is with prophecies. They don't make sense when you first hear them, but once events unfold, you see exactly what they meant. In that sense, they're a lot like a curse that fixed itself to your back before you knew it was there. Oh, well, looks like the scary lady found me. This is all I can do for now. The next time I see you will probably be after everything else is said and done. It's a shame I won't be able to help you fight, but I'm hugely relieved I won't have to fear for my life. All right then, I'll be waiting for you in the confined land. Until next time. Was that a dream?
Testing. Good morning, everyone. This is Xion. The time is now 7 a.m. I am very sorry to disturb you all during your precious quiet early morning hours, but I have an urgent message to relay to all Novum Caudia staff. There has been a change in the 6th Lostbelt. The emergency situation we predicted is now in progress. Please remain calm and come to the command room as soon as you are able.
Oh crap, come on, Foe! Foe? He just turned and left. Foe's like, nah.
Mash KDA Light, reporting for duty. What's going on here, Master?
Don't bother asking Gouda, Kyrielite. He and I both just got here ourselves, so we know as little as you. I don't even see my technical advisor or the captain anywhere. The only other ones here are that unflappable alchemist and...
Good morning, my distinguished colleagues. I see by your healthy complexions that you all slept marvelously last night. Wonderful. I'd say this fulfills the first condition, wouldn't you, Ms. Xion?
Yes, I think so. It's very likely that you are all in such good health right now. Let's see, we have Gouda and Mash, the demi-servant, the field op team, Munier, the pilot, Tomlin and Kawara, the operators, Octavia, Da Vinci's assistant, Chin, the vehicle mechanic, Cayenne, the munitions and design engineer, Elron, the records keeper, Marcus, the Spiritron engineer, and Gordolf, who was just enjoying a heaping plate of pancakes with a rather generous drizzling of honey. I see not one of you is so much as batting an eye in this dire situation. Truly, you are all seasoned veterans. This will make it so much easier to tell you what's going on.
I really don't like where this is going, but come on, let's hear it. What is going on already? Does it have something to do with that searing red light flashing more gaudily than I've ever seen it flash before? Is there a fire in the kitchen now or something?
Oh no, nothing like that. This is just a tiny planetary crisis that'll eradicate us all in about 24 hours if we do not stop it.
Eradication? Well, that's a much bigger deal than I was expecting. Wait! What did you say, you Egyptian knee sock wearer?
It seems pretty rude to boil to boil people down to their nationality, appearance, and or choice of apparel. I agree with that, but please, let's not get sidetracked right now. Director Gordolf, Master, and all the other staff members are still grappling with this news. What exactly do you mean by planetary crisis? Sorry, you're right. We don't have a lot of time to spare, so I'll be as forthright as I can. As you know, it's been about 3 weeks since the shocking operation to eliminate Limbo. In that time, Novum Caudia has been tuning up the storm border and devising plans of attacks for the remaining 6th and 7th Lostbelts. That said, as I've told you before, I saw no need to infiltrate Britain, the site of the 6th Lostbelt. So I've been focusing my efforts on the 7th Lostbelt where the foreign god is hiding out.
Yes, I remember. You said we could leave the 6th Lostbelt to its own devices because... Go on, Gouda, you tell her.
Because Britain doesn't have a Tree of Emptiness anymore. Indeed, the Tree of Emptiness, and that helped establish the British Lostbelt, was used to burn down the Tree of Emptiness in Olympus. As further proof, we have not observed any magical energy readings associated with the Tree of Emptiness coming from Britain since then. As such, the British Lostbelt should disappear on its own, much like the Chinese one did, or so we thought.
Right, the British Lostbelt may still be shrouded in a wall of light, but it's no longer a threat to humanity. At least that was our understanding. Is that not the case? No, it is. We were still keeping it under observation, but we didn't consider it a threat. Not until this very moment, anyway. This is the Paper Moon's planetary observation grid, and these are Sheba's predictions. According to this, the British Lostbelt will vanish in about 24 hours, and when it does, it will engulf the rest of the planet like an enormous tsunami. Earth will then crumble under the weight of its own gravity, utterly annihilating the planet. And we're not talking about one of the foreign god's pseudo-black holes. This would well and truly be the end of Earth. This will overwrite humanity's current bad ending, the bleached Earth phenomenon, with a completely dead end.
But why is this happening? That we do not know. But now that we know what will happen if left unchecked, we can ill afford to simply sit back and twiddle our thumbs. Da Vinci and Captain Nemo are on the storm border as we speak, getting it ready to launch. Up till now, we have been using the shadow border to infiltrate the Lostbelts via void space. But this sudden development has left us without the time we need to prepare. Fortunately, we now have a storm border which is capable of directly breaching the walls surrounding the Lostbelt. As a battleship, the storm border is essentially our frontline base. While we will still be conducting on-site investigations in the shadow border, having a base where we can always resupply will be a tremendous asset. Furthermore, Trimegistus II categorized this phenomenon as a collapse. But one could also call it a trap, or perhaps a pitfall.
A pitfall? Then do you think Britain is going to cave in on itself, or sink underwater?
I'm afraid I can offer no definitive answer until we get there. Regardless, I suspect not even the foreign god herself foresaw this turn of events. It's all well and good that Britain will disappear. Indeed, it's only to be expected now that its tree of emptiness is effectively dead. But if that disappearance is going to engulf the entire planet, then it is a matter we must investigate and ultimately resolve. After all, there would be no feasible way to restore Earth to its pre-bleached state if there is no Earth left to destroy, or to restore even. Okay, I'm with you there, but what the hell can we do in only 24 hours?
A lot, as a matter of fact. You see, that 24-hour period is in our time frame. But according to Sheba, time moves very differently within the Lostbelt. Once inside the British Lostbelt, our time constraint will cease to be a concern. So as long as you can resolve this phenomenon while you are there, we should all be set. That said, time is still definitely not on our side. Which is why we're going to have all Chaldea staff board the storm border. And head for Britain as soon as we finish our final safety check. Then, once you arrive at its wall of light, you will use the storm border's dimension-piercing drill to breach it. And make your way into Britain, the 6th Lostbelt. That's all I've got to say, and as luck would have it, the shadow border has just arrived at the dock. I know this mission is being sprung on you all of a sudden, but Da Vinci will fill you in on the details aboard the storm border. Be careful out there, everyone. I can't wait to hear what sort of fun hijinks you get up to this time.
Eh? You mean you're not coming, Shion?
Sorry, you're right. I did say the entire staff. My bad, I didn't phrase that as intended. I felt it would be much too presumptuous to count a newcomer like myself as a member of Chaldea's staff. Please, don't worry about me. I'm just going to stay here and continue to monitor the 7th Lostbelt. Do your best out there, Gouda. I promise I'll do the same here. That said, if you all should blow this one, both I and this base will cease to exist in about 24 hours. So I'm counting on you more than ever. But I'm not all that worried. I know you'll succeed.
Thanks, Shion. You hang in there too.
Attention all crew members. I repeat, attention all crew members. We have arrived at the waters near the British Lostbelt, 2 hours after departing the Wandering Sea, just as we expected. We are currently 200 kilometers north of the Isle of Britain. The Wall of Light looks to be a dimensional rift just like the World's End from the Sixth Singularity. Thanks to Da Vinci and Professor's analysis, we have learned that the rift is the thinnest on the southern side. So that is where we will be heading, and we'll begin the dimensional boring as soon as we arrive. We expect to begin the operation in 45 minutes. All hands remain at your posts until further notice. There you have it. We're going to begin the operation as soon as possible without any breaks. The Storm Border's a big ship after all, so it can't just slip into void space like the Shadow Border. But what it can do is use its massive propulsive force and magical energy barriers to withstand the dimensional friction that separates different worlds. Basically, it's a giant drill. What we're going to do is fire the Storm Border through that wall of light like a bullet. The entry impact will be just as strong as it is for a zero sail, so make sure you're all in a calm state of mind. If you're confused, distraught, or terrified, then your soul might not be able to keep up with your body.
Yes, I'm well aware. You mean that weird sensation where it feels like your chest and head are being stretched out like taffy, right? No need to worry about us, Captain. This isn't our first rodeo. More importantly, we do have a firm plan of action in place, yes? Because I don't even want to think about entering a Lostbelt without a strategy or a goal.
Of course we do. Don't worry, Gordy. We know exactly what it is we have to do. After all, we were always planning on going after the British Lostbelt at some point. Really, you were? But I thought the British Lostbelt was no longer a threat, at least up until today.
Right you are, but nonetheless, we were indeed making plans to explore it well before now. While we only have a few bits and pieces of information to work with at the moment, we do know that Barrow Good remains in the British Lostbelt, and that its king was able to launch an attack on Olympus's Tree of Emptiness. What's more, this king was even able to burn the very Tree of Emptiness required to sustain their Lostbelt. While it is still unclear whether Barrow tricked them into doing so, or if they acted with informed consent, what matters is that they possess enough power to burn a Tree of Emptiness single-handedly. And then there's Rongominiad, right?
Yup, a hugely powerful spell akin to Divine Punishment that was able to reach Olympus all the way from Britain. A mystic that surpassed even Kirstaria's ideal magecraft. That was Rongominiad, all right. It's a spell devised not by human hands, but by the inner sea of the planet itself. It would be a powerful weapon against the foreign god, which means it's something we desperately need. The planet's inner sea? What's that?
Oh, that. It's basically a paradise of legend. Every mythology's got some kind of promised eternal Holy Land, right? Utopia, the Garden of Eden, the land of the young Tir Nanog, and so on. Well, Britain's is called Avalon. It's supposed to be an otherworldly paradise that can't be reached by ordinary means. It's also said to lie inside the planet, and that it's where the souls of stars go to sleep. Pretty much every clock tower mage has heard about it. I know I call it a legend, but that's not how the people who can actually see it think of it. And there are some people out there who really might be able to get to the planet's inner sea. Hell, the clock tower's even got a department for exploring it. But that said, we're talking about a place that's completely outside human comprehension. Once you get mixed up with something like that, you're practically already lost to a world outside our own.
What are you saying, Munipaza? Are you talking about the underground workshop? They're just an ordinary archaeological team with a fancy name. Really, how could anyone take them seriously when they proudly proclaim they found Earth's belly button underneath the clock tower? I may be something of a magecraft elitist, but even I would be too embarrassed to say something like that with a straight face.
Ahem. If we aren't done with our digression about the Mages Association and the Clock Tower's inner politics, let us return to the subject at hand, shall we? Now that we know the King of the British Lostbelt controls Rongominiad, we need to investigate it and learn how it works. Indeed, the Rongominiad is the very reason we were already making plans to explore the British Lostbelt. While the circumstances have forced us to act sooner than we had hoped, we were always going to pay them a visit eventually.
So then, Master's mission this time isn't just to investigate the Lostbelt.
While we do, of course, also need to prevent the warning Trimagistus II warned us about, securing Rongominiad is our top priority. As such, our ultimate goal for this Lostbelt is to negotiate with its king for it.
You mean you want to cut a deal with this Lostbelt's king? Someone capable of essentially firing intercontinental ballistic missiles at will?
Yep. Honestly, I think it's pretty reckless even for us. I'd love to get my hands on Rungominiad too. But between the Storm Border, the Heroic Spirit System, and the Black Barrel, I think we should be able to neutralize the so-called planet-level threat like the Foreign God if the circumstances call for it. Shion was adamant that we need a divine construct though, so here we are.
Well, Ms. Shion is an Atlas alchemist. I've no doubt she has something unique in mind. And let's not forget, we wouldn't have the Nautilus or the Storm Border if it weren't for her. So I, for one, am perfectly willing to go along with this plan of hers. Especially if it leads to us acquiring Rungominiad or something equivalent.
Oh, don't you think you're being just a little overly optimistic here, Holmes? This could be the biggest burden we've asked Gouda to bear so far, you know.
This mission does seem a little different than the others.
You'll have to continue this conversation later. We've almost reached the drilling point.
All hands return to your posts. Brace for space-time crossing impact.
Oh, right. Sorry, Captain.
Oh crap, the wall's right in front of us. Sorry for not paying closer attention, Captain.
All right, I understand. I still don't like it, but at least I get the point of this mission now. Remember, Gouda, this won't be like any of the other Lostbelts we faced so far. Negotiation requires a careful, thoughtful approach, so try to keep your reckless risk-taking to no more than 30% of your usual antics.
Good grief, it seems Gordolf beat me to the punch. As important as this mission may be, it should be within our ability to acquire this weapon. Fortunately, we have both knowledge and time on our side. Regardless of what sort of person we may be dealing with, as long as we take things one step at a time, we are sure to arrive at the truth eventually. Gouda, strapped in and ready.
Good. Professor, start the final safety check. Storm Border, initiate zero coding. Triton engines 1, 2, and 3 are all green. Space and time difference corrections between Storm Border and drilling targets have been calculated. Da Vinci will protect the ship's armor from the computer room while the Nemo series focus on maintaining our route.
The computer room just gave us the all clear, Captain. We're looking at a 99.9% chance of success.
Dimension-piercing battleship Storm Border, move out! Prepare to enter the 6th Lostbelt.
Lostbelt Depth EX. Bay Roundtable Domain, Avalon LaFay. The moment a planet is born.